the biggest boxing match of the decade has came and went at Allegiant Stadium in front of over 70,000 people, and you could see it on that Netflix broadcast, man. This was so hype. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. It's happened, and Terence Crawford has officially cemented his legacy for good. You can't doubt him anymore. So, spoiler alert, in case you didn't see it, Terence Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision, becoming an all-time great right before our eyes, picking apart one of the greatest boxers of this generation. And now he has been an undisputed champion in 3 different divisions, which has never happened in the history of boxing. And before we get into the fight itself, I was just thinking about this earlier today, and I really want to put this insane achievement into perspective. Terence Crawford has won titles in boxing from 135 pounds now to 168. Just think about that for a second. Think about it from the MMA perspective for our MMA fans that are watching. Let's say someone wins the UFC bantamweight title at 135. That would mean if they wanted to do what Terence Crawford has just done, they would have to win titles at 145, 155, and 170. Just think about that. You're never going to see that happen in UFC history. And I get that boxing is different than the UFC, but still, that's a pretty big difference in weight. I mean, that's 35 pounds. And Terence Crawford, just went up by 14 pounds to fight here at 168 against Canelo. And he doesn't completely dominate, but he won handily. That was absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to say that. I just truly think that we've witnessed one of the greatest achievements in boxing history, and I think that we're witnessing someone create an all-time great legacy right in front of us today, and I couldn't be more grateful for it, to be honest, because me and you have been on the Terence Crawford hype train for a long time now, and I feel like neither of us really knew how this fight was going to go, like a lot of people, because Crawford's going up so far in weight, and he's fighting a guy who's an all-time great himself. You truly just... You had to wonder, is it too big of a jump? But it wasn't. Like I said, first guy ever to win 3 undisputed championships, and just unreal, man. What's your take?
It wasn't, dude. No rehydration clause either. So
Yeah.
Canelo was in there, rehydrated. He's looking himself, and he did not overpower Terence Crawford at all. Terence Crawford absolutely looked like he belonged in that as a freaking super middleweight now, and it's just like, what can't this guy do at this point? It takes a special kind of athlete to even get in there with a guy like Canelo and then last 12 rounds and win each one, just about each one. Yeah, that was. It's just the kind of stuff that you love to see there. We're seeing more and more in the boxing universe. So
Sports needed it, man.
yeah,
Needs fights like this, and needs results like this, because, and you think about it too, just think about the pressure that Terence Crawford was under going into this fight. He has great wins on his resume, but the Canelo fight really felt like the culmination of all of that, if he could get it done. But no one really knew if he could because of the big weight difference. But he goes in there now and he gets a win over Canelo at 168. And now, like I said, this is his 3rd undisputed championship. Never been done before in the sport. This was a true crowning moment. And if you think about what would have happened if he would have lost, I think that his legacy would have taken a major hit, because Canelo was really the first other all-time great that Crawford has had the chance to test himself against. And even with the weight difference, I think a lot of people would have been questioning Terence Crawford if this didn't go his way, because it's like, well, that was the one all-time great fighter he's fought, and then if he didn't win, yeah, you have to wonder. But now that he did get the win over Canelo Alvarez, I mean, the world is his oyster, and I think that he's building up an all-time great legacy. I mean, now he's 42-0, and he has all these championships. I mean, I think the rematch is probably what's going to be next. I think there was a rematch clause. So, I mean, if you were excited for the first one, I think a lot of people are going to be excited for the second. But This was
Ring
just unreal.
Magazine super middleweight champ of the world.
Well, undisputed, not just
Undisputed,
the Ring
not just
Magazine.
undisputed. Like, I mean,
It's
the
hard to wrap
guy's
your head
got,
around it.
yeah,
Like
like it's got a whole laundry list of titles now, man.
this
Yeah,
guy is unreal. I mean, you're never gonna see a run quite like this probably again in your lifetime. Like it's just the achievement that this guy's pulled off just cannot be celebrated enough. And I really think we're witnessing something special right now, and I hope people are appreciating it because it really is that. But to get into the fight itself, Terence Crawford looked like typical Terence Crawford. I mean, he was darting in and out of range. He was very elusive in there. It seemed like Canelo had a hard time really getting into his range because he was just there and then he wasn't. And Canelo was getting countered like crazy throughout this fight.
I didn't think it was so much darting in and out as much as it was just pure ring presence and circling around Canelo, like staying off the center line. And every time Canelo would think he had an opening, every time Canelo would think he had an opening, Terence Crawford would either block it or he'd counter right back with like a just like a super quick combination, super quick precise combination. Like the guy's got to be the most accurate boxer I've ever watched. I know this guy doesn't miss a punch whatsoever. I mean, I don't know the stats exactly, of course, but I mean, I know 115, 113, but you could argue it was
It should
even
have been
wider
probably
than
further
that.
than that,
Yeah,
yeah.
but as far as the accuracy goes, it just man, he's an absolute sharpshooter in there. Um, and then just the way he's able to extend his jab out of the southpaw stance, and even orthodox, he was landing he was landing the the punches that he needed to. Uh, yeah, it's such a precise a form of boxing, and Canelo's the guy who will overwhelm you with power, and I think Terence, like I said, I think we're for as much as you might think he was darting in and out, I think he was able to just circle, even if he was backed into the corner. Like if Canelo would stick him with something, whether it was Canelo was really trying to work that uppercut to the rib cage, and Terence Crawford would either block it and or just come back with some sort of combination of his own, and it's so just yeah, it looks effortless for sure.
He did a great job at like rolling with Canelo's shots really well and then countering off of that. And it just seemed like the speed really was a difference too because Canelo just couldn't get out of the way fast enough when he was getting countered. And I did think it was interesting that he fought a lot of this fight. Crawford fought a lot of this fight in southpaw, just because. And I know he's known for switching stances a lot, but this guy's still a right-handed fighter at his core, and the fact that he was able to go up that far in weight and then fight southpaw most of the time, like that had to have thrown Canelo off at least a little bit. It was just. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like I'm still kind of like in awe of it. We're recording this obviously the next afternoon, and a lot of the questions that we had going into this fight really got answered
I
and
mean, like I
answered
said,
easily.
he's just a general in there. Like I think he knew when to clinch as well when there wasn't an opening and Canelo did have him smothered to avoid any sort of phone booth altercation. Like that's the time to clinch right there, and no one's gonna knock him from that because as long as Terrence has the center to work with and the rest of the ring to circle around, then he's gonna be just fine. That guy's the footwork is what I'm really trying to get at.
Yeah,
Is the best, if not the best, you'll ever see.
yeah. His movement in there is absolutely insane, and I really think too that even like in the pocket, he was doing really well. Like I said, just rolling with the shots in the way that he was and being able to counter, and like
Yeah,
he wasn't afraid to get in there really with Canelo, which I was kind of like impressed by. And I was impressed by his confidence even afterwards. Like I thought it was funny when the one reporter asked him, "Oh, when did you know you were gonna win this fight?" And he said, "When I signed the contract." And I'm like, "That's a good answer." But I think that in terms of like the going up in weight, I still think Crawford looked like himself. I think the only thing that looked different was maybe his power. Like, I don't think his power has that same stinging, knockout power that it does at 47 or like, it doesn't have that same stinging power at 68 that it does at 47. And that's like obvious. But, if he can keep doing what he was doing in terms of his movement and counter abilities.
I mean, for every 2 punches Canelo would give him, Terence Crawford would just come back with a 1-2-3 of his own.
Yeah.
And if he could, he would throw in a 4 to and he was kind of doing a good job of working the body as well, as because it was more in those middle to the later rounds where I think not that. How I saw it at the beginning was Canelo was gonna because we know, I think Terence Crawford is at this point generally well known for being one of the slower starters in boxing, and so I thought Canelo was actually trying to bait him in and trying to let him work, and so Canelo would grab some intel, and for the later rounds he would start to use that against them, and I mean just Terence. Bud did not let the opportunity squander. If Canelo was gonna let Terence Crawford work, Terence Crawford was not gonna waste that opportunity to rack up as many points as possible. And
I think that's been a big factor for Canelo lately. Like when you look at the earlier part of Canelo's career versus like the part that we're in now, he's definitely not as busy as he used to be inside of the ring, and I think that against a guy like Crawford, that was a big deal.
Yeah,
because,
well, you could tell Canelo was frustrated. Like Terence Crawford, especially the southpaw stance, was definitely like really frustrating Canelo, because when Canelo thought he had an opening, it was like I'm gonna say it again. When Canelo thought he had an opening, Terence Crawford would either defend it or he's just gonna come right back with a combination of his own, and like the counter punching was also something I thought was an absolute masterclass and the best this planet's ever seen.
What's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt the podcast real quick, but we have a message for you guys.
If you enjoy the Her Handbook's content, you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like on the videos, all sorts of fight content as much as possible, podcasts, interviews, vlogs. We have it all over here, so thank you, appreciate it.
We appreciate you, and like he said, please subscribe. And now back to the show.
So, it's just what I mean.
Crazy.
Like I said, it takes a special kind of athlete to pull off something like that, and I understand now why. First of all, like to start with, how if it was an MMA fighter, 4 different weight classes, but I understand now why Conor McGregor thinks Terence Crawford could hold himself in the octagon, because I was thinking, like, watching these combinations from Terence Crawford, just how smooth it looked, like, just like a straight, like, wasn't so much a blitz, because it's not like he was pushing Canelo back. Like I said, in the pocket, he looked really good as well. But if he was able to kick, dude, and mix in, like, leg kicks with those punches, like, that's the kind of stuff that an MMA fighter like could be really overwhelmed by. And
well, even besides that, Crawford has like a legit wrestling background too. Like he was like a state champion wrestler, I think, in high school. So it's like he's not a total jerk on the ground either.
That is okay.
But it's interesting, and we're MMA guys, and we always got to preface this for the boxing fans that are gonna watch us. Don't get too mad at us, but
feel free to go in the comments if you want to, whatever you might want to say when it comes to, because you know what, Dana White did play his part into this fight. There was John Anik also in commentary.
I thought John Anik he did pretty good, by the way. He
was really good. So hey,
it was you know what I will say though.
We're all in this together now, people.
Yeah, but bring this like kind of to an interesting conversation that's come up, because Ilya Topuria has talked a lot about wanting to box Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just gonna say that now. Even when Conor McGregor fought Mayweather,
I'm selfishly like, oh my god, I would love to see.
It would not end well for MMA fans. And it never does. That's what people need to understand. But I just thought that was funny because it came up.
Because it really is a whole different world, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, like once again.
And these guys are fighting like the best of, like it's not like Conor McGregor or like Ilia Topuria going to boxing and like they're fighting like the number 10 guy in the world. Like they're fighting the greatest fighters of all time.
And then like clinching for instance, like in a boxing clinch you're getting separated immediately. In an MMA clinch you don't have to get separated.
Rafa Garcia elbows.
Exactly. Rafa Garcia elbows, foot stomps, whatever the hell, man.
Shoulder strike.
Break somebody's nose, dude. Conor McGregor.
All the boxing fans are clicking off just by the minute. Like these MMA guys can't stop talking about elbows.
No, this is for your sport that we're saying, like, it really, a lot of these MMA fighters think it is that easy of a transition, and it's not.
It is a compliment. You're right. Yeah. Like, the hate for MMA fans and boxing fans, like, it only goes one way. Like, boxing fans can't stand MMA sometimes, but MMA fans love boxing.
I've mentioned a few times already, talking about this fight, the ring presence, how much of a ring general Terence Crawford is. You'll never hear something like an octagon general, an octagon presence and whatnot, MMA. Like,
yeah, you really only hear like cage pressure, like things like that. You don't really hear like a cage general though.
Exactly.
Outside of maybe like a Dominic Cruz, I think that's like the only guy you really that's like one dude who would fit into that category if it existed. But you don't really hear that. You're right. But in boxing, like, I mean, what Terence Crawford just did yesterday, I can't stress enough just how insane it is. And,
yeah, dude. Like just the movement off the center line alone, like I think Terence Crawford builds a pretty good shell. You know, he keeps his temple pretty protected and whatnot. And then so I think Canelo looked at that as, all right, well, here's where I can get these body shots in and just rack up some points that way. I mean, you take a shot from, especially a guy coming up to Canelo's division and just naturally the smaller guy, and you gotta eat that kind of shot from Canelo. It's like, dude, that cannot be easy to weather over the course of 12 rounds. So just for it to not phase him at all whenever he did take it, and then when Canelo would try to throw it, be able to block it and defend and just keep the offense going. It's amazing, dude.
What Terence Crawford did last night is what it's number one pound for pound boxer does.
It's always just a great thing when like the whole world kind of comes together and watches just an art form like this from the greatest in the world right now. So,
and we need these types of fights, man. This is what boxing needs.
Who is just to get the answer of who is the greatest in the world right now.
Well, now it's pretty clear. It's good. And me and you talk about Inoue a lot, but to me at this point, it doesn't matter what Inoue does. Crawford is the man until he's done.
Yeah, 42-0, bro.
Yeah, it's unreal. Like I said, what Terence Crawford has done, this is what the number one pound for pound boxer needs to do. And like, again, to put it into perspective, if this was like a UFC fighter, his championships would be across 4 different weight classes.
I mean, we're talking Canelo's professional career. Like, dude's got over like 500 rounds in his professional career. Terence Crawford has close to 300, but like half of that. And just to frustrate, just when him and his corner probably noticed how Canelo seemed stifled and frustrated, like that's when all the momentum you knew was just gonna shift, just be in Terence Crawford's corner no matter what. Like, as long as he stays on his feet, of course, and doesn't touch the canvas, like, this is his fight to lose all the way through. So
yeah, I mean, even the way that he won it was just the typical dominant win in boxing. I mean, he won a lot of the early rounds. Canelo looked pretty good in the middle rounds, but you see a lot of boxers kind of take off some of those middle rounds to prepare for the later rounds too, and I think that's what Crawford could have done.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought was happening, especially in round 7. Not that I thought he was taking the rounds off, but it was something like, I think he understands, like, all right, I've already got these first 5 to 6 rounds that he can bookend this fight and start it. He can end it the same way he started it, pretty much.
And then how about round 9 when they were just that was a real moment where they were both in the pocket standing and trading. And Crawford held his own and he landed a lot of big shots. Like it was
snapped
impressive.
Canelo's head back.
That's what I mean. Like this guy, it's unreal what we're watching right now. I can't stress that enough.
It's such a
because I feel like we speak mostly to MMA fans, like who don't fully pay attention to boxing, and like not that we pay attention to boxing as much as the real boxing pundits out there. We're more MMA guys too, but when we pay attention enough to both, where you could really see something special when it's happening right in front of you, and that was something, man. I don't know how long it's gonna be until we see something like that again. That's for sure.
It's just the mental side of boxing is like just. When you see two guys who are just, how can I just pick? Let's see two guys who are just simply trying to figure out how they can pick each other apart with nothing but their hands, is what like will always grab my attention, especially when it's two of the greatest to ever do it. Like the stakes are one thing, exactly. That's sweet sign. Yeah, the stakes are already one thing, but just the fact like okay, like. When guys have to make adjustments during the fight and whatnot, and when to see a guy like Canelo freaking Alvarez get frustrated, it's like whoa, dude, it's almost like what universe are we living in? But it's like, dude, just Terence Crawford's that good. He's just that good. So
it's Terence Crawford's world. We're just living in it. I think that's where to end it.
Road, dude.
Yeah, man,
yeah. Hopefully he doesn't. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't. Yeah, like you said, rematch.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure there is a rematch clause for this. That's what I've heard. So I think
Team Everlast.
Let's get ready to do this again.
Let's go, baby. Team Everlast. Terence Crawford. Let's go.
What a win, man. Terence Crawford is awesome. So, let us know in the comments what you guys thought of the fight and maybe what we're not considering. Because, like I said, we're MMA guys. We admit it. So if there's anything we're missing, let us know.
When we do catch heat, it is mainly from the boxing fans.
Or Islam Makhachev
yeah.
fans. Not that boxing fans care about that.
I'm interested to see how some of these shorts will do on TikTok. So
yeah, we shall see. We shall see. But thank you guys for watching. If you stuck around this long, tomorrow our Noche UFC recap will come out. And after that, we will see you for our next fight recap, unless we plan something else in the middle of that. But until then, see y'all.
Feel just like a superstar. Doing all these drugs, I don't think I'm gonna see tomorrow. Living fast, brand new dash up in a foreign car. This the type of shit that you be doing when you going hard.